guys, LongHaul Larry, and back at the house doing remodeling. Got myself a note on there. Don't forget water, line the fridge before I close this up. On the COVID stuff, I'm feeling better. I've actually had somebody, I'm almost like a guinea pig up here. They've actually had somebody coming, I think it's because I'm out of towner. They want to make sure that I'm staying isolated and not spreading this, I think it is. But they've actually had somebody from the clinic up here actually coming over to the cabin, checking on me. And she just came over and took her test. She didn't really want to because I still have a fever. But the boss man is asking, when am I coming back? And you know, I'm not leaving until I get a negative result. I'm not traveling across country spreading this. But she took it anyway. She had a result in a couple days, and she gave me some medication and stuff to help reduce fever, and so everything was fine there. But we're back here, and this valve has been my headache of life. I was over at Tracy's house, I don't know, 6-8 months ago. You guys saw where I installed a new bathtub in her house. I had this video and all this stuff. And she needed a new shower valve. And I went out to a local hardware store and bought an ice valve. And it was like 230 bucks. It was supposed to be nice and everything. And I installed it, and it was made from Moen. And I installed this thing in there, and she had nothing but issues with the water mixture in it, the hot cold mixture. It was just a nightmare. We were constantly on the phone and researching stuff and blah blah blah. And they kept sending her new cartridges. Then they sent her a whole new valve assembly and everything. And we finally got it to work by changing a bunch of parts. We finally got the thing to work. And doing research online and stuff, there's a lot of negative stuff about Moen, how they're just so bad and they don't work right and blah blah blah. And you know, I didn't check that beforehand, but we had this whole valve assembly and that whole extra one because they sent us one, and we had all kinds of different parts. And so I actually installed one in here. I installed the extra one that we have in here to save a little bit of money. And I don't know if you guys noticed, when I turned the water on, there's hardly any cold water that comes out of here. The water pressure is just barely trickling. I'll turn the water on. There's that fan. I took the cover off. I want to see what's going on. I gotta get a heating guy out here, but I can't get him here until I'm done with this. Trying to see where it's hitting. Right here. Has some play on the inside, in and out. Let's play in and out. That's probably what's going on. I probably could loosen that set screw and put it on further on the shaft. It doesn't have play up and down. It's in and out. So I probably could loosen that up, push it on the shaft a little bit more, and that would probably take care of that. It's hitting right here. But if you push it in, see if you push that in, then there's nothing. And I think that's what happens, is when it spins real fast, the magnets suck it in like that. And so it doesn't hit, but then when it releases, the magnets in the motor release, and then it slowly starts winding down, and it comes out and it hits. So, yeah. And it's only, it's like this fan blade right here. I probably could just bend that fan blade. Right there. See, I just fixed it. Yeah. I just fixed it just now. Just bent that fan blade in a little bit. It doesn't have any up or down. It's in and out. Yeah, right there it's fixed. Cool. Alright, back to faucet. So I got the water on now, and I could turn the cold water on. And hers was the opposite way, it was the hot water. See, that's all I get. Now if I put my hand over and build pressure, then all of a sudden it builds and builds, and then I let off, and then it comes out more. It's got a really funky cartridge in there. There's a piece that just slides back and forth. It's got holes. It's so complicated. And when I have hot water mixed up to it and I turn it on, then the hot water, it comes out really good pressure. Now hers was opposite. It had a lot of cold water but didn't have hot water. So I'm tired of messing with it. I think it's somewhere right in there. Let's turn it off. I'm really tired of messing with this. So you know what? I decided I'm going to just buy a new valve. I'm done with it. I don't need the headache and everything else. So I made a bunch of phone calls, and I talked to this hardware guy up here. I had a conversation with him, explaining what was happening, and he went punching up online. He's like, "It's just got to be that cartridge inside." And he's like, "You know, let me look at it so I can figure out what needs to be adjusted." And he was messing around with it, and he's like, "Wow, that is a complicated cartridge." And then he's like, "You know, I don't carry mowing." And he goes, "Because I've had a lot of, I used to get them returned a lot." And he goes, "You go online and you punch up this valve you got," and he goes, "There's nothing but bad reviews." And I'm like, "Dude, I just want simple. I just want to turn it on, and I got water. I got 60 pounds of pressure, PSI in this system. I want this water just to come flowing out of there. You know, I want to fill the bathtub up fast. I want good showers." And he's like, "Delta, Kohler, you know, they got really good systems. They're simple to use. The cartridges are easy to maintain." He goes, "They're the way to go." And we had conversations about it. He had a Delta that was had a chrome finish on it, and it was only 129 or something like that. But everything in here, all the different fixtures in here, were going with nickel, with a brushed nickel. And it wouldn't look right. So we looked at a couple different models, and he did have a Delta that was brushed nickel, and it was 189, and then he had this one. And this is the one that I chose, and it was $199. And it's made from Kohler. Pretty fancy. Pretty old fairy house, I'd say. But real simple. I've been looking over the whole instructions. I bought it. He set it outside for me, and I picked it up. Told me to call if I have any questions. And I've read the instructions, and pretty simple. I'll show it to you guys. Right here is the valve assembly. He said there's no way that you can adjust the pressure of the water. There's no thing to adjust pressure of more hot, more cold, everything else. He said the only thing is that you can limit the hot water. And he said right at the factory it's set at 120 degrees. And he said if you want more, you just pull this out, keep turning it up, put a temperature thing in there, get it to the temperature you actually want, and then you pop this little stopper thing back in. It's very simple. He said, but you can't adjust the water pressure. He said it's just whatever it is, it is. So the only problem is I've measured this, and this is the whole assembly, and this is the deal that sits, and this is supposed to kind of sit flush with the finished wall. And I was reading the instructions. It's pretty flexible, and there's a piece that screws on here that you can actually extend it in and out a little bit. So I like that because you don't have to get it just right. But I've measured it against the wall, and it's 3.5 inches. It's 3.5 inches to the outside. So I want it to have 3.5 inches to the finished wall, which is the cement board, the mortar mix, and the tile. The tiles are 1/4 inch. This cement board is a 1/2 inch. So that's 3/4, and then you figure mortar, you put it on and you spread it. I put it on with a 1/4 inch trowel, but then when you put the tiles on and you set them, that usually goes down 1/8 of an inch. So I'm gonna set it for 7/8 of an inch. I have a finished wall of 7/8 of an inch out. So that's what I'm gonna set it at. So 3.5 inches minus that 7/8 is gonna be what? So that's gonna be 2 5/8, right? Yes. So that's gonna be 2 5/8. And right now this one here is, I can't remember. So this one is set at 2 1/4, and 7/8 onto that would be 3 1/8. So I need to set this 3/8 back further. Does that make sense? So I gotta put a new 2x4 in here. I'll probably replace this one because it's all burnt. And I talked to him and I'm like, you know, I've done this many times before, put in shower and piping and stuff. And I always hate this because you wrap Teflon tape around these fittings and you get these little fittings here to solder on. And I need this pipe to tap into the fridge line. This one here could have been PEX, but I just did it just because I was doing it. But and I could have ran PEX down here too. The spout thing will fit on the PEX, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate that. I don't know if you ever been to someplace and they do that with PEX. The nozzle's always it always moves. You touch it and it moves around a little bit. I'd just rather have it copper, and I figure since I'm doing it, I'm just gonna do it all. But where was I going with this? Oh, I was talking to him and I'm like, isn't there a deal that solders onto here and then this can still spin? Because what happens is if you put this on here and then you heat this and solder this, it melts the Teflon tape. That happened over at my daughter's house. I put that together and I tightened them on there and then I soldered them and stuff and got them all soldered, but then they leaked here. And she had to go back and like heat them and tighten them and stuff and all this until she got them to stop leaking. It's a pain in the butt, and I'm like, don't they make these that these can still spin and have a, you know, deal on there? And he's like, no. He goes, but they do make shark bite ones. They use a compression deal, and that's what these are. And they actually fit copper tubing, or they can fit the PEX line, whatever. And it's just like a compression. Now, I know you guys are yelling at me, you don't like compression fittings, Larry. I don't, but this case I'm going to like it because there's no solder. So you put these, you screw these all on, and then you just take the pipes and press them in. And I think it'll be fine. But I tell you what, these boys are expensive. I mean, just to show you how expensive they are, here's one of the packages. They actually have anti-theft devices in the packages. That's how expensive these things are. But hey, if it's a simple or easier installation, that's for me right now. Alright. I am mounting my new valve on there. Got all my fancy little compression deals in there. I know. Look how Larry with his compression fittings. Hates them, but he's using them now. It's going to make it so much easier, guys. So we got our valve attached in here, and I have it screwed on there, and what I did is I just put a board on here and I marked on here 7/8 of an inch from here. So that's a 7/8. That's going to be our total width of all our finished materials. The 1/2 inch wallboard, 1/4 inch tile, figure 1/8 inch. It can be more. it can be a little bit less too. There's an adjustment knob on there that you can turn it in and out to make it go in and out. So that's kind of nice on this, because a lot of valves you can't do that. So now I'm just making sure that I'm straight, that the board is straight up and down, which it is. I just did that over here. I checked the top and the bottom, make sure it's... That way when you mount it on there and at the top or the bottom isn't pressing more on the tile than it is on the top, then you might get a gap and get water behind it. And that could leak into the wall, so just want to make sure that that is straight. And it is. So we'll run a couple screws into it. And I don't run them all the way in tight. I run one and then start another one. Then you can run it tight. That way there's two screws holding it so it doesn't twist on you, because if you run it tight with just one screw, it will probably pull and twist it. That way you got both of them started to keep it where it is. There we go. That valve is on there. It ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Alright, we got her all set up, and I became unlazy. I centered everything. I don't know why I didn't do it. It was just offset. I don't know. I was fine with it, but then I was like, it's gonna bother me. So I fixed her up right. So we got everything all mounted. Now we just need to put our valve assembly in. Alright, so cold is this way, so this one's cold. And then this is an aspirator. And I was talking about it in the directions. It has to be facing up towards the shower. If it is not, if it's facing down or some other hole, you have to pop it out and put it into that one. It's got that little groove thing in there. I actually called Kohler about this, and I'm like, what does an aspirator do? And he read it to me. What the purpose of it is. I thought maybe because the thing is that nowadays, and it's mainly because of California, let's be honest about it, but because of drought and water shortage, there's actually laws is it not sitting in there right? That restricts the amount of water these valves can operate, because they're trying to restrict the water usage and stuff. Well, I'm not in California. I don't care about the water usage, you know? Alright. Just double check the O-ring, make sure it looks good. It does. But that aspirator, what it does, I guess, is it that's it. Is it introduces air, a little bit air into the line. And what that does, the purpose of it is that when you turn on, and let's say you're taking a bath or whatever, there will be a small amount of water that's going to go up, and then you may get a drip or, you know, a little bit of water that makes it all the way up there if that aspirator is pointing in the wrong direction. So they said it introduces a little bit of air into the line that keeps that from happening. That's why it has to be pointed up. So there you go. Something I didn't know, and I called them and they explained it to me. So if you turn on your shower and you get a little bit of water that comes out through your shower head and you're trying to fill a bathtub or something, that's what it is. It's the aspirator. I pointed in the wrong direction. All right. So we are all done at the moment. I think what I'm going to do is install my hot water heater back in. And don't even get me started on that. Sorry about the light there. It's probably going to be dark here for you guys to see. So I tried to mount this elbow. I bought this big fancy thing. And I asked them when I bought this, we're coming up here, what do I need for it? Oh, you need these special pipes and stuff. I mean, this elbow is $60. This here is like $40, this little piece of pipe. And what it does is there's O-rings up inside here that seal on. This is all stainless steel. And it seals on there. And then it's got an air gap that goes all the way around the pipes. And it gives it an air gap so that this pipe gets hot. It has time it cools it down so it doesn't burn your insulation and your wall stuff and everything else. It's pretty fancy stuff. But look at this. It goes in there. And I talked about this in a video already. Goes in there like so. It actually does not, the small pipe does not go in there far enough to hit the O-rings, the gaskets to seal it. It goes right up to it, so it needs to go in about another 3/4 of an inch. But this pipe does not fit over top of this. This pipe is actually, this part goes over the top of a pipe. This is actually supposed to be inside of a pipe. But it's the same exact size as this. So I went online and looked. And I found, from Menards, I found this. And it's supposed to be an appliance adapter. Okay? And so I've waited for this, and I thought, okay, let's do this right. And I waited for it, and I actually called Menards. And I talked to him about this. Oh yeah, you need that adapter. That's what he says. Thanks for telling me that, you know, when I bought it, whatever. So I got this. Tracy came up last night. She's working today at the cabin we're staying at. And she brought this with her. And the first thing I did was grab this and looked at it, went, it don't fit. This is the right size now. But this part here is actually the outside, just like this. It's the same size as that. They're supposed to, this pipe actually will fit inside of here. See? It's wrong. And I've called them and talked to them about it, and the guy, I don't know, you might call the company. This company doesn't make this pipe, and they don't carry any pipe from this company. It's unbelievable. So the hole that I drilled, the hole that I patched, which is now cracked, and have to put more compound on, guess what? I gotta drill that hole back out. Not a big deal. Hey guys, I don't know what day it is. I don't know how many days I've been here, but getting better. Just a little update, and still got a fever and stuff, but I am what I am, you know, getting over it. I hear the end of it is kind of the rough. That's what my brother's been telling me, is that just have no energy. I'm there. But I'm working on this water heater issue, and I think I got her. I finally got it. I'm very happy, actually. I had to give up last night. I was getting so mad. I'll show you what's going on. Well, here is the water heater, and I've been having nothing but nightmares with this. They don't explain things. They don't give you a list. Oh, you need this, you need that. I knew that it needed this special pipe. It has a 3-inch stainless steel pipe on the inside. It has gaskets that are inside of it to seal, because there's gases that come out. You know, your poisonous gases that come out from burning the fuel, it has to be expelled outside, not into the house. So there's gaskets in there that seal this, and there's a 3-inch pipe on the inside and a 5-inch on the outside. They don't explain anything in what you need. It's a real pain in the butt. But when I got up here, I had all these pieces that I bought. Each one of these pieces are like $50+. And this one's torn apart. The inside part's not in it. But you can see all the pieces. There's a bunch over there and stuff. And my plan was I have to put an elbow on here to get it out the house, go through the wall. And I drilled a hole and everything, but then I had to patch it back up because it's going to move. But here's the deal. I went to go put this elbow on. It's the same size as this pipe. It will not fit over this pipe here. And the 3-inch piece of pipe that's supposed to be inside of here wouldn't go in far enough to hit the gasket. And that's very important because that seals it from the gases getting out into the house. So I had conversations with somebody at Menards over the phone. Told them the model number, the issue. They came up with this. It's an appliance adapter. So the inspector drove almost 5 hours to go get this because we're 2 to 2.5 hours away from a Menards. And she went and got this, picked this up for me, brought it. It don't work. For one thing, I don't think it'll fit over the side. I think it's the same exact size as this. But the other thing is this is a female pipe, and that's a female pipe. And so you can see how they have gaskets in both. This pipe is supposed to fit inside here to seal against her. And it don't fit. Oh. So this has been an ongoing thing. For like a week, I've been dealing with this, trying to figure this out. And it's holding up everything, all the progress, which is fine because I'm not doing a lot anyways. But I finally got somebody else on the phone, explained it to them. They're like, yeah, that's the adapter. And I'm like, it can't work. I said, can you grab one off the shelf? And they grabbed one and I says, look at the water heater on your display. The top of it has a female pipe coming out and the 3 inches of the female pipe, correct? He's like, yeah. I said, the adapter you're holding in your hand has a female pipe in it. How do 2 female pipes connect together? It doesn't happen. He goes, you're right. So he's messing around looking at all this different stuff. Oh, I just found it, he goes. He gave me the SKU number and I punched it up online. And it was this. And this was $58. This for the stupid little thing. It's another appliance adapter. And he goes, this is what you need. I looked it up online. Sure enough, it was. Talked to Tracy about it. She jumped in the car, drove the 5 hours over to Marquette, Michigan. Picked this up, got back here. I pulled it out last night. Walked over here. I'm like ready to, get angry again. I grab it. Fit it on there. Boom. Fits on there. Perfect. That's it. That's what I need. Awesome. Then I grab an elbow, and the elbow is supposed to fit on top of here. Boom. Fits over the top of it. Awesome sauce. But then here's the problem. I got so mad last night, guys, I had to actually leave before I wrecked something because I was getting a little irate. Inside this pipe, this goes down inside, okay? It's very tricky to get in there. It's got to be wiggled. Not sure I'm going to be able to do this on camera. But it goes through here. I got it out. I think it actually goes the other way. Yeah. Okay. So that's how this goes in. Okay? Just like this, and then there's a ring that actually holds it in there. This little ring goes down the side here, sits in a groove there, and holds it in there, okay? I went to go put, this is the end that it will go into. I went to go put it in. The 3-inch pipe would not fit. They were the same exact size. I was so furious. And I mean, I could just get it to start, but that was it. I was so furious. So I sat here messing with it last night, trying to get this done. And what I did is I grabbed my little torch with my map. Hang on a second. I grabbed my little torch with the map gas and I sat here on the floor and I heated this up. And I thought, okay, if I heat this, it will expand the metal. I should be able to press it on. Just like you do with bearing races and stuff like that. You can heat them and then they just drop in, you know, drop on, pull off, whatever. And so I heated it up. The problem that happened is there's a rubber gasket that goes in here that seals the gases from leaking out. The pipe fits in against that rubber gasket and seals it. As soon as I started heating this all up red, a rubber gasket actually started on fire. Burned right out. But I was like, whatever, I'll fix that later. I tried, I got it, maybe a 1/4 inch up in there. And I was taking a 2x4 and I was hitting on here and I was starting to damage this. And I just stopped. I'm like, this is not right. Pulled it off. I think that this pipe was just manufactured just a little bit too small. I don't think it was quite right. So I had to stop. I was gonna wreck something. I just had to stop and go home. I went back to the cabin, hung out there. My mind has been going all that long. And I thought of the old days on working on cars and tailpipes and stuff. They make what's called a tailpipe expander. And what this is you put this into a pipe when you have you're trying to fit pipes together in cars, and you fit this in there and then you put an impact on it and you run this in and it threads it together, and the more you go, the more it expands. And if you heat up a pipe, stick this in there and run this in, you can actually expand the pipe out so that you could fit another pipe inside of it. Nowadays they make all these different adapters. A lot of people don't use these anymore and stuff. But I have one at home and I thought if I could find one of those, I wonder if I could do it. So I went to AutoZone here, talked to those guys over the phone, explained it to them. Yes, we have a kit. Here's the deal. I can't come in the store. Give him credit card number. No problem, we'll work with you. And it's right there. And it comes with a couple different sizes and everything. I came back here. I put that in here and I ran it in with a ratchet and tried it and it wouldn't do it. And for some reason in my truck I had my DeWalt impact, my 1/2 inch impact. And I thought one last try. And I ran it in and I hit it with the impact. I ran it in a little bit. I turned it because it expanded. You could see it was pushing out a little bit here, but not in here. I expanded it, turned, put it on the spots that weren't, ran it in a little bit more again. Thought about that's about as much as I want to try. I grab my pipe. Bam. It's perfect. It's perfect fit. So now the only problem is that I'm missing that gasket that seals against the gases. But when I was sorry about that, my voice, I lose my breath sometimes. When I was there getting that kit, I told them I would like some high temperature silicone sealant. So they did that, gave me a tube of that too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these pipes together like that far, reach inside here and use my finger and just put it all in that little void right there and fill that all up with silicone sealant, and then when I push the pipe together, that will seal it. And it will replace that gasket that they have in there. Alright, so that's what I got is it's a red RTV gasket maker for high temp. I guess it's good for 600 up to 650 degrees, which is, that's plenty. You can see I got it, there's like a little indentation in there. That's where the gasket used to be. It's really basically the exact same stuff. except theirs is actually a gasket. But it's the same stuff, it's just a gasket in there. And I tell you what, I don't think theirs was up to 650 degrees, because as soon as I heated this thing, it just burst into flames. And you can see what I'm going to do here. So yeah, I'll just fit that up in there. And then twist it up in there. Get this outer pipe. Fit over top of it. Pressing it on. Just like so. And you can see how that gasket, how that material sealed up inside there. Here, we'll put it inside that wall. I always put too much. I guess I can get a paper towel. But I think you guys can see what's going on, so that's gonna seal it up real good. Well guys, we got our water heater all installed. I still gotta wait for our drywall patch here to dry up, and I'll just touch sand it up. It doesn't matter, it's gonna be back in that little cupboard anyways. I'm not gonna mess with it, and probably even paint back in there. Doesn't matter, you're never gonna see it unless you service something. But I got all the pipes all hooked up. Got the piping all outside. It's really good looking out there. It's a good pipe. Better be for the price I paid for all that stuff. But that's all hooked up, and let's see what the tub does. See if our new valve is working properly. There we go. Get all the air out of the lines. Awesome. So there we go. Got her all working. So now I'm actually gonna solder on a end cap right under here, and then turn the water on and just double check all the fittings before I seal this wall up and check everything for leaks. Make sure we got no leaks, and then I can start moving forward with wallboard and tile and stuff. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night as they're watching this here video. And if you're not, certainly just try that all over again tomorrow. I'll catch you guys later. You want to see what Tracy's doing? She is staining the bathroom cabinet that she wanted to throw away and buy a brand new one to spend more of LongHaul Larry's money. Whatever. But she's got her all cleaned up and stained. I kind of like it. It's got a little distressed kind of look to it. I like it. But she's got like a gel stain, just like Tyler, the drunk carpenter, puts on his. Nice to work with, she says. And there's the front of it. So she's got that all done. Now she's starting to strip kitchen cabinets, and she's very happy, not aggravated at all right at this moment.
Can't get the hinges off.
But she's got to say, we talked for a couple minutes. We had discussions about stripping them all the way to bare wood and then doing the same kind of thing. But then we decided, here, I'll show you guys. This is the kitchen flooring, the dining room and kitchen flooring. It's going to be a laminate flooring. It's going in. So This cabinet's going to be in a bathroom, and this is going to be in a kitchen. There's going to be linoleum in with that cabinet. We kind of had a discussion that there might be too much wood color in that room. So we decided we're going to paint them. And she said she can have these all done today if we just paint them. So now you're on the internet as having said you're going to have these all done today.
Then start getting these hinges off.
Well, no, that's part of the job.
Oh.
That's part of your job. All right, guys. I'll see you later.